Hi Shalina, welcome to Carol's Universe, tarot readings from the heart. So thanks, sorry for the slightly shaky screen. It's just that I'm using my iPad Pro to record videos today. It's going to be a lot quicker this way today. So you came back for a continuation of the first reading that we did, babe. 2 questions. It looks like you got 3 down here, but I think that the third one is really just you kind of trying to draw everything together. We're going to have a look at, does he regret the mistakes and all the hurt he put you through and how he treated you? And then you say, when he comes back, is he leaving the girl he's seeing now to come to you, or is it just going to be a quick fling and go back? I got that impression from that first reading. It would probably be, because that, I think there was a Knight of Wands or something like that sitting in there, and I think it had its back turned to the lovers. I don't like that combination. So I actually felt from that reading that it was a fling. He might, I think he was be telling that reading, he was, and I remember it quite well, that reading, I think, because it was only done yesterday. So I think all those love cards and everything that came out showed him really feeling something quite strong, but it just felt like he would probably change when he came back. But anyway, let's have a look. And we're going to use the Spellcaster's Tarot today for this reading. I love this deck. It's so cool. And it's so good as well. So let's have a look. Alright, so Universe Spirit, does this person, 27th of the 2nd, 1997, he's a Pisces male, does he regret his mistakes and all the hurt that he's put Shalina through? In 5 cards, how does he feel about what he put Shalina through? Does he regret his mistakes and all the hurt that he put Shalina through and how he treated her? In 5 cards, does this male, 27th of the 2nd, that wants to come out. There's 2 actually that came out together. We'll get 3 more cards on that then. In 3 more cards, does this male regret the mistakes he's made and all the hurt that he's put Shalina through and how he treated her? Show me in 3 more cards. 1, 2, 3... Okay, 4. Okay, 5. Okay, let's have a look then. So we'll look at this, what it's saying to us. Yeah, he does. 5 of Cups is your classic regret card. And I think that, you know, this card here, Shalina, is throwing it all away. So when you get the 5 of Cups, you just want to throw it all away. Let's try and get this a bit more lit up the screen. There we go. Alright, yeah. And with this particular 5 of Cups, you just want to delete everything. You want to get rid of it. You want to delete it. You want to throw it all. And I really feel that with this 5 of Cups energy, you can see on this particular 5 of Cups, Shalina, that there's 3 cups downturned here, but the guy wants to also throw away these 2 cups as well. So I see a lot of regret here because this particular 5 of Cups, and I remember when I did some readings, a reading on Meghan Markle and Harry about a good few weeks ago, and this, when I asked the universe a few hours before I uploaded that video, I actually said, what do I need to know right now? And it gave me this card and the Page of Coins and the 5 of Wands, and it told me this card basically meant I'd be deleting the whole video. I'd be throwing it all away because the Page of Coins in this deck shows someone who's protecting themselves, and the 5 of Wands is like a group of trolls, and it was true. I was really trolled on that video and I ended up deleting it. So this is just throwing everything away. And I think that, you know, your question is, does he regret his mistakes? Well, the 5 of Cups is always going to be a yes because it's the card of regret. So yeah, and I think that he really regrets it on a different, on a big scale, and if he could change things, he would, I think, here. The world energy. So I feel that he regrets what he's done with that 5 of Cups energy. It almost feels like with me, the world energy says that he's taken a lot on his shoulder, and he might regret the whole thing because the world is the whole. So I actually feel that he doesn't just blame himself maybe for a portion of stuff. I actually get the impression that he might blame himself for the whole thing with that world energy sitting there. The devil, guilt, because there's enslavement with the devil energy, feeling chained, with the devil energy showing here. But the problem is with the devil and the Seven of Cups is that this is a very kind of, he is very seduced by pleasure, because this is pleasure is, you know, he might regret the whole thing because he was seduced by pleasure, because the seduction card can be either one, devil or Seven of Cups, and pleasure can be either one, devil or Seven of Cups. So, you know, this is somebody who was pleasure seduced them, or seduced by pleasure, whichever way you want to play it with these cards. But there's definitely a very hedonistic, a very sexual theme to both cards, and a very kind of illusionary and, you know, very temptation, a theme that kind of alludes to the idea of temptation. He was tempted, he was seduced. And I think he was tempted and he was seduced with those cards by another option, which is the Two of Wands. So I think, you know, I definitely feel that he regrets what he's done. I feel that there's something going on with whoever he's with. That's what I'm feeling here. Because he was seduced with the devil and the Seven of Cups. He was seduced, and he was seduced by his desires as well. The desire is the devil energy. He was seduced by sheer desire with the Seven of Cups and the devil energy by another. You know, he was definitely tempted, because the devil is all about temptation. So he was seduced and tempted, I think, by another option, which is the Two of Wands, which is the girl that he's with now. And I think that he blames himself with this Five of Cups for the whole thing, because he was seduced and tempted by another option, by another female, with that Two of Wands energy showing there. So I actually do feel that this guy really does blame himself for what went on, for what happened. I think that there is some blame here. And I'm just going to see why he blames himself. And why does this Pisces guy blame himself? Why does he blame himself? We know that partly it was because he was, you know, seduced and tempted by another option, you know, by an alternative person. We know that already. But any other reasons why he feels he regrets the whole thing with the world energy? Is there any other reason why he regrets the whole thing, what he did? Because the Three of Coins. So Three of Coins can be the third party, but Three of Coins can also be, I mean, if you look at this particular version of the Three of Coins, this person's learning, you know, you've got two people here learning something. It's almost like this was you and him sitting down here, and you were both learning something together. You were both working together with that three. Yeah, and you've got the Eight of Coins. So Three of Coins, Eight of Coins, coin cards that show work. They show people who are developing and working and focusing on relationships. It shows people who are putting the work in. When you get those cards in a relationship reading, that's what it shows. So I actually feel here that he regrets the whole thing, not only because he was tempted and seduced by an alternative person, which is the girlfriend he has now. I also feel that he regrets the whole thing because he can see that you guys were probably working towards something here, because you do have the Pentacle card, and the Three of Coins in a love reading often means that you're moving the relationship to the next stage. You're developing the relationship and you're working hard. Yeah, so you're working hard to develop the relationship to bring it to the next stage, you know, with that Three of Coins energy showing there. All right. And there was happiness here and contentment, because you've got the Sun. So he was, you know, he was happy and he was content with that Nine of Cups energy. So he was happy and content. Both cards indicate happiness and contentment within a relationship when you get those cards. Yeah, but he withdrew from the commitment. Four of Cups. He became disinterested and started to question your commitment. The Hierophant energy, when the Lovers, the third party, and that Five of Coins. See, that Five of Coins, that can be cheating. When he started to cheat on your relationship, for example, he started doing things outside of the Hierophant, because the Five of Coins is often doing stuff outside of the relationship, outside of the commitment. You're doing things outside of the church, and the church represents an honest, loving, committed relationship, one that is, because the Hierophant is all about society and rules. So when you're outside of the church, you're outside of the society and you're outside of the rules. And these two people, even though this isn't a church, it's still representative of the home, the structure. And these two people are doing things outside of the structure of the home, you know. And, you know, he's become, I think, what's happened, we'll just pull these up, Shalina, for this guy. We're going to go through this reading again anyway before we get on to your other reading. But, we'll pull these down here. There we go. Okay, so basically, let's go from the top. Your question is, does he regret his mistakes and all the hurt he put me through and how? Yeah, I do think he definitely does, because we've got a Five of Cups sitting in the reading. And when you have the Five of Cups in your reading, that's regret. That's always a regret. Okay? And I would say with the world energy, he regrets the whole thing. And he regrets it on a big level as well, because the world is big, it's the whole thing. You know, he regrets the whole thing. Because he was tempted and seduced by an alternative, the Two of Wands. And I asked the reason, well, what is the other reason that he regrets what he's done? Well, Three of Coins and Eight of Coins is suggesting that he was working on, or, you know, you guys may have been working on developing this relationship, taking it to another stage, and he was happy to maybe experience new things in the relationship. He was happy to, you know, the sun means new life, it means new birth, it means new beginning. So he was happy to start exploring some new stuff with you probably, but he was seduced and tempted by an alternative. All right, and now he kind of regrets the whole thing, I think, here. And I feel that also this is because, you know, not only was he probably wanting to work on developing, taking the relationship to the next stage, and he was happy to kind of look at, you know, the new beginnings that you guys could experience together. I think that he regrets it because he, you know, he had his head turned when he was seduced and tempted by this by this alternative path, which is the girlfriend. He became disinterested in you with that Four of Cups energy, disinterested in your commitment and love, and he started doing stuff outside of the commitment, outside of the relationship. So yeah, I do. I think that this guy regrets it. I think he really does regret what he's done. Let's have a quick look at your last question. So, when he comes back, is he leaving the girl he's seeing now? So when this guy comes back to Shalina, will he leave the girl he's seeing now to come back to her, or will this just be a quick fling? In 5 cards, when this Pisces male comes back to Shalina, will he leave the girl that he's seeing now to come back to her, or will it just be a quick fling and then he'll go back? In 5 cards. Okay, let's have a look. All right. So the first and second cards should really answer the question. And you know, when he comes back, he's seeing you now. Will he be leaving the girl that he's? Well, I don't think he'll be leaving her, because you've got the Seven of Cups suggesting that he's got options. There'll be options here. I don't see an Eight of Cups sitting up here. Okay. So far it looks like a quick fling because of that Seven of Cups being the option card. The Eight of Cups, I think he has the options to leave. So when he comes back, because you've got the Eight of Cups energy here, the Eight of Cups is to leave, and he's got options that he can leave his girlfriend. So, but it's not saying, I think, that he's entirely left her, because your question is, will he leave? Will he be leaving the girl that he's seeing now to come to you? And the answer is the Eight, the Seven of Cups, which is choices. I mean, he might choose to leave, but the Eight of Cups is really saying, sorry, the Seven of Cups isn't always the card that indicates that you choose something. It might be that he's got an option to leave. There is potential that he could leave. I think these two cards are saying together. Magician. Ruled by Mercury, communication. Magician and the Hierophant. Hierophants in relationship readings are commitments. Those, sorry, that came out again. 5 of coins. Leaving commitment. I mean, it's interesting because because the Magician is the trigger card. And this is to leave the commitment, because the 5 of coins is doing something outside of this energy here of the Hierophant. So this might, the various options he's got to leave. I think that he'll be triggered with this Magician energy to leave his relationship with this girl. But he's looking at options and ways that he can do this. It's not, I don't think it's conclusive. I think that there is potential that he could leave this girl. I think that there's something about there being potential here for him to do it, because the Magician is the trigger card. So this starts everything. So it's almost like it's saying, well, there'll be options for him to leave. So he could leave. And he might even talk. So the Magician is talking about leaving his relationship. But it's not saying certainly that he leaves, because I think this is saying that there are still options. And this could also be with the 7 of Cups, that it's up in the air whether he leaves. Because 7 of Cups is also kind of things that are up in the air. So it might be that it's up in the air, or he has options that he can leave. And he'll probably communicate with you that he'll leave his current relationship. So he might say, oh, I'll leave her. You know, I'm definitely leaving her, or something like that. I think when he comes back, he won't have entirely severed ties with this woman, from what I can see. Just see if there's anything else I can think of here. What do you mean by Magician, Hierophant and 5 of coins? Because I think that this is a card about communicating, but this can be a lie as well. This can be somebody who's trying to seduce you through their words. So they're saying, oh yeah, I'm definitely leaving the girlfriend. Yeah, absolutely. But whether they mean it or not, it's not entirely honest, you know? Well, I think that he definitely, with this 9 of coins energy, it's tricky, because the 9 of coins can mean that you feel personally comfortable within a relationship. But his 6 of swords showing here. He's searching for something here, because the 6 of swords is moving towards the 4 of wands. So he's searching for a relationship or somewhere that he feels personally comfortable, I think. I think that he's going to say to you, you know, I am going to leave this relationship that I'm in, because I think that this is all about him trying to search for 4 of wands happiness. He's searching for a relationship in which he feels personally comfortable with that page, the 9 of coins. Because whenever I see the 6 of swords moving towards a card, it's going into it. It's not going out, it's not leaving it, it's going towards it. So this is almost like saying, well, in answer to your question, we'll do this question again. You say, you know, is it going to be a quick fling? I don't think it will be a quick fling, but I think that even though the cards yesterday alluded to that, I don't know. I mean, it could be. But I think that at the time that he comes back, he'll be very serious. But I don't like that Knight of Wands and the Lovers. I just didn't like that combination. And especially as he was outside of the Lovers rather than going towards it. You know, he wasn't driven by love. He was driven by, I think it was the 10 of Wands he was phasing into on yesterday's reading. I think what will happen is that he'll have options to leave. He can leave. But he'll still be deciding, I think, maybe the 7 of Cups, whether he does that. And I think that he'll say to you with that Magician, yeah, I'm leaving this relationship, showing here. Because this is all about him trying to look for a relationship in which he feels personally comfortable. But that doesn't still assure that he'll stay. Because I think that this is somebody who's consistently... What I'm getting from this reading, Shalina, is that probably, excuse me, this is somebody who is consistently looking for the perfect relationship. And he never finds it. And then when he gets with someone, there are problems. And then he moves on to the next because he thinks he's going to, you know, this to me looks like the type of guy where the grass is always greener on the other side. That's what it smacks off to me intuitively when I look at this reading. It's almost like the grass is always greener on the other side for this guy. So I'd just be really careful of that one, because I think that, you know, he has options to leave. Of course he does. And he'll say to you with that magician energy, yeah, I'm leaving or I've left the relationship. But I don't know how true that is, because the magician's mouth is not always talking the truth. You're likely to have truth coming from a Queen of Swords or a King of Swords when they speak to you, because they are truth tellers. Magician embellishes stuff because he's a magician. He creates illusions through words, things like that. So I don't know how true that is. But really, this is all about him searching for a relationship in which he feels personally comfortable. So it's all about him. It's all about him. And, you know, what will happen, I think, is that when he comes about, there'll be very much a personal agenda with this person. It will be very much a personal agenda for what he's doing. It's not doing it because of, you know, he's probably reminiscing about the relationship he had with you because he's not getting on with the girlfriend, you know. And he'll kind of embellish stuff about the relationship and stuff. But I don't feel that this person will hang around. I think, just looking between the lines on this reading, he'll come back and he'll say all sorts of things. Oh, yeah, I've left the relationship, but, you know, blah, 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 blah. But whether you can trust him or not is another thing. Magicians don't always tell the truth, because they embellish and they cover things up, and they're even through their words. Because remember, Mercury's rule is the planet of fast thinking and fast talking. So it tends to build an illusion through the words, which is why this is often the card of the narcissist, you know. Trying to find, he's moving into that Four of Wands, trying to find a relationship in which he feels personally comfortable. I mean, he might be trying to find a relationship in which he feels personally valued, but I very much doubt that, because I guess that when you were together, you valued him and you showed him love and you showed him care, but he didn't respect that because he went off and treated you badly. So this guy, what I'm getting from the readings that I've done for you, Shalina, is that this is a man who always feels that the grass is greener on the other side. He tends to regret the whole thing, or regret things in a big way, when he looks back and thinks, oh shit. And he tends to be the type of person that goes with his passions and feelings rather than with, you know, with logic, which is a bad idea for someone to be, because they can just go off at a tangent on anything. You know, if they see someone else and they like them, they'll just go for it. Oh yeah, they're the person of my dreams, but then they'll regret it later. I think this person's bad news. I think he comes across as slightly narcissistic, and he also comes across as the grass is greener on the other side. So when he comes back, well, I can see him saying, oh yeah, I've left this relationship, that type of thing, because he's searching for a relationship in which he can feel comfortable. But at the same time, you know, if something goes wrong again, or if he feels that his comfort is under threat or something like that, he'll just go off and find something else, you know. It's because it's all about him. These two cards are suggesting that it's all about him, you know. So I think, I don't think his intentions will be to come back for a quick fling. But what I do feel is that he would come back with an intention, because he's searching for a relationship in which he feels personally comfortable. And that's what makes the whole thing volatile, because he'll come back under one guise of wanting something long term. But whether it turns out like that, I'm not quite sure. All right, because I think that he's got these expectations, and when they're not fulfilled, he tends to switch. That's what I'm getting from this individual. All right, that is your reading, my darling. A pleasure. Love you loads, darling. Take care, babe. Bye.